Welcome, listeners, to the whispering waters of Xochimilco, where the past and present merge in the shadows of countless silent witnesses. This is not just any tale. This is the story of the Island of the Dolls, a place where the air is thick with the echoes of a tragedy long past and the gaze of hundreds of lifeless eyes. Nestled in the heart of Mexico, this island offers a journey not for the faint of heart, a journey into a realm where the boundaries between the living and the dead blur beneath the canopy of a forest adorned with the decaying remnants of childhood innocence. Our story begins with a discovery by Julian Santana Barrera, a man whose life became entwined with the fate of a young girl lost to the water's embrace. In an act of respect, a single doll was hung from a tree, marking the start of an obsession that would transform this secluded spot into a sanctuary of the macabre. The dolls, with their cracked faces and empty eyes, watch over the island, guardians of a secret that whispers on the wind. As night falls and the light fades, the island awakens to the soft murmurs of the unseen. Visitors speak of dolls that seem to whisper among the leaves, of unseen hands that brush against their backs, and of eyes that follow their every move. Some say it's the girl's spirit, wandering restlessly, seeking companionship in the silent figures that hang from the trees. Others believe Julian's spirit lingers, forever bound to the island he transformed. So, dear listeners, I invite you to lean in closer as we unravel the layers of this haunting tale together. Let us tread softly into the realm of shadows, where the line between the material and the ethereal vanishes, leaving only the mystery of the Island of the Dolls. Join me as we delve into the heart of darkness, seeking the light of understanding in a place where the echoes of the past are never truly silent. Welcome to the unknown. The discovery. In the heart of Mexico, where the waters of Xochimilco weave through ancient landscapes, lies an island unlike any other. It is here, amidst the tranquility of drifting waters and the whispers of history, that our story unfolds, a story that begins with a man named Julian Santana Barrera. Julian, a local to these parts, lived a solitary life, far removed from the hustle and bustle of Mexico City, seeking solace in the simplicity of nature. That, what he discovered on one fateful day, would forever alter the course of his existence, and imprint the Island of the Dolls into the annals of the unknown. As Julian navigated his small boat through the narrow canals, the water mirrored the sky, blurring the lines between heaven and earth. The verdant banks, adorned with the lush tapestry of nature, held secrets whispered by the wind, but never fully revealed. It was on one such day, under the canopy of a sun-dappled sky, that Julian stumbled upon a sight that would haunt him for the rest of his days. Nestled among the reeds, barely discernible from the natural debris, was the lifeless body of a young girl, her eyes, forever closed, held the serene yet haunting gaze of the departed. Julian, struck by a profound sadness and an overwhelming sense of responsibility, felt compelled to honor her memory in the only way he knew how. Not far from where her spirit had departed, he found a doll, its plastic flesh marred by the elements, a silent witness to the tragedy that had unfolded. Driven by a force he could not understand, Julian hung the doll from a nearby tree. It was a gesture of respect, a makeshift memorial for a soul he believed was wronged by fate. However, this act of commemoration did not bring Julian peace. Instead, it marked the beginning of an obsession that would consume his life. Convinced that the girl's spirit remained tethered to the very fabric of the island, Julian dedicated himself to appeasing her unrest. Over time, the island of the dolls grew. As Julian adorned its trees with countless dolls, each one, with its own story lost to time, became a vessel for the girl's spirit. Or so Julian believed. The once serene landscape transformed into a tableau of the macabre, where the beauty of nature intertwined with the echoes of a forgotten tragedy. As the sun sets and the shadows lengthen, the island reveals its dual nature. To the casual observer, it is a place of unsettling beauty, where the line between the real and the surreal blurs. But to those who listen closely, the island whispers secrets of the past, of lives untold and spirits unrested. It is a place where the veil between worlds is thin, and the dead commune with the living. In this chapter of our tale, we explore not just the discovery of the island, but the genesis of a legend. Julian Santana Barrera, a man touched by tragedy, found himself caught in the web of destiny, forever linked to the spirit of a girl whose name he never knew. As we delve deeper into the heart of darkness, remember, dear listeners, that some stories, like the waters of Xochimilco, run deep, carrying with them the weight of the unseen and the unheard. Join me as we journey through the veil into a world where the echoes of the past resonate with the whispers of the present. Welcome to the Island of the Dolls. The tragic tale. Beneath the serene expanse of the sky, where the waterways of Xochimilco preble the echoes of ancient times, lies a narrative so heart-rending it has seeped into the very roots of the island. This is the tale of a young girl, her identity shrouded in the mists of time, whose life was claimed by the still waters of the canal. It is a story that binds the fate of Julian Santana Barrera to the spectral whispers of the island, an indelible mark on the canvas of the unknown. On a day that began like any other, Julian navigated the labyrinthine canals that bane through the land, a solitary figure amidst the sprawling beauty of nature. The tranquility of his journey was shattered by a discovery that would forever haunt the corridors of his mind. There, amidst the reeds, and the gentle lap of water against the boat, lay the lifeless body of the young girl. Her silent form, embraced by the water, painted a picture of serene tragedy, a soul departed too soon from the world of the living. Julian, overcome by a profound sorrow and a palpable sense of injustice, could not avert his eyes from the tragic scene. It was in this moment of solemn reflection that he noticed something peculiar floating near the water's edge, a doll, its features eroded by time and the elements, and hauntingly reminiscent of the innocence now lost to the depths. Moved by a force he could scarcely comprehend, Julian retrieved the doll from the water's embrace. It was as if fate itself had placed the doll there, a tangible connection to the girl whose life had been so abruptly severed. With reverent hands, Julian hung the doll from a tree overlooking the site of the tragedy, a silent sentinel bearing witness to the sorrow that permeated the air. This act of memorialization, though born from the purest intentions, opened a door to the unknown that Julian could never close. The doll, suspended in its arboreal perch, became a symbol of the girl's lingering presence, a bridge between the world of the living and the spirits that wander in the shadows. Julian's heart, heavy with the burden of what he had witnessed, was consumed by the belief that the girl's spirit remained, anchored to the place of her untimely demise. The tranquility of the island was forever altered by this singular event. Julian found himself drawn to the doll, returning often to the site, each visit deepening the connection he felt to the unseen forces that stirred beneath the surface of the water and the land. It was as if the doll, with its glassy eyes and silent form, communicated with Julian, whispering secrets of the afterlife, of realms beyond the grasp of the living. As the days turned to weeks, and the weeks to months, Julian's solitary existence became intertwined with the fate of the island and the spirit of the girl. He adorned the trees with more dolls, each one a testament to the memory of the lost soul, and a beacon for the spirits that roamed the night. The island transformed under Julian's watchful eye, becoming a place of eerie beauty and haunting whispers, where the boundary between this world and the next seemed to vanish like the morning mist. Listeners, as we delve deeper into the heart of this dark tale, remember that the island of the dolls holds within its embrace stories of sorrow, loss, and the unbreakable bonds that tie us to the unseen. Julian Santana Barrera, a man touched by tragedy, became the guardian of a legacy that whispers from the shadows, a reminder of the thin veil that separates us from the mysteries that lie beyond. The transformation. In the shadowed heart of Xochimilco's lush canals, where the whispers of the past meld with the rustling of leaves, Julian Santana Barrera's solitary existence took a turn into the realms of the obscure. The island, once a silent witness to the ebbs and flows of nature, began its metamorphosis under Julian's unwavering conviction. Compelled by a force beyond comprehension, he embarked on a quest to appease the spirit of the young girl whose life had been claimed by the still waters. This chapter delves into Julian's growing obsession and the island's transformation into a sanctuary of the macabre. As days melted into nights, and seasons shifted in their perpetual dance, Julian's initial act of hanging a single doll on the island evolved into an unyielding purpose. Each doll, retrieved from the canals or donated by those who heard of his quest, was not merely an object in Julian's eyes. It was a vessel, a potential home for the girl's restless spirit. He believed that these silent sentinels could appease her, offering solace to a soul adrift between worlds. The island, once cloaked in the vibrant greens of nature, began to wear a new guise. Dolls, with their vacant stares and weather-beaten faces, dangled from the branches like macabre ornaments, a stark contrast to the natural beauty that surrounded them. Some were intact, their synthetic hair flittering in the breeze, while others were mere fragments of their former selves, limbs lost to time and the elements. Each one, however, was imbued with Julian's fervent hope that they would bring peace to the girl's spirit. The transformation was gradual, yet relentless. Julian's obsession saw him combing through the refuse of the canals, rescuing discarded dolls from their watery graves. He repaired them with meticulous care, though many bore the scars of neglect, their features twisted into grotesque expressions by the ravages of time. To Julian, these imperfections only added to their significance, each blemish a testament to their role as guardians of the island. Night after night, Julian would wander the island, lantern in hand, as he hung new dolls among the trees. The flickering light cast eerie shadows, giving the dolls a semblance of life, as if they whispered to one another in the darkness. The air grew thick with an unspoken energy, a palpable sense of watching eyes and whispered secrets. Julian, though alone, never felt solitude amidst the company of his silent wards. As the island transformed, so too did Julian. The local people, who once saw him as a mere recluse, began to whisper tales of the doll island and its guardian. Some viewed him with a mixture of awe and apprehension, while others believed he had crossed into madness. Yet Julian remained undeterred, driven by a conviction that transcended mortal concerns. He lived for the island and its spectral inhabitants, his life inextricably woven into the tapestry of legend that enveloped this place. Listeners, as we stand on the threshold of the unknown, peering into the heart of darkness that is the island of the dolls, we are reminded of the thin line that separates passion from obsession, the material from the spiritual. Julian Santana Barrera, in his quest to provide sanctuary for a lost soul, transformed an island into a realm where the veil between worlds seems to vanish. As we delve deeper into this tale of sorrow and devotion, Let us ponder the mysteries that lurk in the shadows, where dolls hang in silent vigil, guardians of a story that continues to unfold beneath the watchful eyes of the unseen. Whispers among the dolls. In the secluded heart of Xochimilco's lush labyrinth, where the water whispers secrets of the past, the island of the dolls stands as a monument to the unseen. This chapter delves into the eerie phenomena that began to envelop the island, a place transformed by Julian Santana Barrera's obsession into a realm where the veil between this world and the next seems perilously thin. Here, amid the silent vigil of countless dolls, the boundary between the living and the spectral blurs, giving rise to whispers, cries, and an unsettling sensation of being watched. As word of the island and its peculiar guardian spread, curious souls, drawn by a mix of fascination and fear, began to venture into this secluded domain. They came seeking the thrill of the unknown, a glimpse into the macabre tapestry woven by Julian's hands. Yet, many left with stories that spoke of more than just the unsettling sight of dolls hanging from the trees. They spoke of whispers in the wind, soft murmurs that seemed to emanate from the dolls themselves, as if the island were alive with ghostly conversations. Visitors reported an inexplicable chill that swept over them, a sudden drop in temperature confined to certain areas of the island, as if they had walked through a shadow passed not by clouds, but by unseen presences. Some recounted hearing the faint sound of crying in the distance, a sorrowful lament that had no discernible source, tugging at the heartstrings of those who heard it. But it was not just the visitors who experienced the island's haunting phenomena. Julian, the island's solitary guardian, found his life becoming ever more intertwined with the supernatural occurrences that permeated his domain. He spoke of nights when the silence was broken by the soft weeping of a child, though he was the island's sole inhabitant. On still evenings, he claimed to hear the whispering of voices, conversations carried on the breeze, indecipherable yet distinctly human in their cadence. Perhaps most unsettling were the reports, both from Julian and those who visited the island, of the doll's eyes seeming to follow their movements. Skeptics might dismiss this as a trick of the light, the human mind's tendency to see life in the inanimate. Yet, those who experienced it could not shake the feeling of being watched, of unseen eyes tracking their every step as they navigated the maze of trees adorned with Julian's silent sentries. The atmosphere of the island grew thick with tales of the supernatural, each story adding to the lore that surrounded this eerie place. Julian, once a man who sought solace in the solitude of nature, found himself living in a world where the boundaries of reality were constantly in flux. The dolls, each hung with a purpose, became more than just objects. They were conduits to the unseen, bearers of the island's haunting legacy. Listeners, as we delve into the heart of this chilling narrative, we are reminded of the power of belief and the thin line that separates the known from the unknown. The Island of the Dolls, with its phantom whispers and spectral gazes, stands as a testament to the mysteries that lie just beyond the edge of our understanding. In this realm of shadows, where the past lingers like the morning mist, Julian Santana Barrera found himself not just a keeper of the island, but a part of its very essence, entwined with the spirits that roam its haunted landscape. The Guardian's Fate. In the depths of Xochimilco's veiled waters lies an island that whispers secrets of the unseen, a place where the line between the living and the spectral dances like shadows at dusk. Julian Santana Barrera, the island's solitary guardian, wove his existence into the very fabric of this haunted landscape, becoming as much a part of its lore as the dolls he hung with such meticulous care. This chapter explores Julian's life amid the silent watchers, his isolation from the world, and a profound dedication that defined his existence. It culminates in the mystery of his death, an event as shrouded in speculation and ambiguity as the island itself. Julian's days and nights melded into a solitary vigil. His companions, the innumerable dolls that hung from the island's trees, their lifeless eyes bearing witness to his dedication. His life, once marked by the simple routines of rural existence, had transformed into a singular purpose: to protect the spirit of the young girl he believed lingered on the island. Julian's existence became a testament to his unwavering commitment, his every action a ritual in her honor. The isolation that enveloped Julian was not just physical but spiritual, a separation from the world of the living that deepened with each passing day. The island, with its eerie beauty and haunting whispers, became his sanctuary and prison. Visitors, rare and often unsettled by the island's atmosphere, spoke of Julian's profound connection to the place, a bond that transcended the ordinary and ventured into the realms of the extraordinary. This dedication exacted a toll on Julian's well-being. The lines between his identity and that of the island's guardian blurred, his reality intertwined with the supernatural occurrences that defined this haunted place. Friends and those who knew him noted a change in Julian, a shift in his demeanor that reflected the weight of his self-appointed guardianship. His once vibrant spirit seemed overshadowed by the solemnity of his task, a light dimmed by the pervasive presence of the unseen. The mystery of Julian's death adds a final, poignant chapter to the legend of the Island of the Dolls, found drowned in the same canals that had claimed the life of the young girl he sought to appease. Julian's passing was a mirror to the tragedy that had sparked his obsession. Some say it was an accident, a tragic end for a man who had dedicated his life to the spirits of the island. Others whisper of a more spectral conclusion, suggesting that Julian was called into the waters by the very spirits he sought to protect. In the wake of his death, the island seemed to hold its breath, the air heavy with the absence of its guardian. The dolls, silent witnesses to Julian's life and death, hung as they always had, yet their presence was imbued with a new depth of mystery and melancholy. The question of whether Julian's spirit joined those he believed roamed the island remains unanswered, a final ambiguity in a tale woven from the fabric of the unknown. Listeners, as we reflect on the life and legacy of Julian Santana Barrera, we are reminded of the profound impact belief can have on the human spirit. The island of the dolls, with its haunting beauty and whispering dolls, stands as a monument to one man's dedication to the unseen, a place where the veil between worlds is as thin as the line between devotion and obsession. Julian's story, like the island itself, lingers in the realm of shadow and mystery, a tale that whispers to us of the unseen forces that shape our lives and legacies. The island beckons. Beneath the verdant canopy of Xochimilco's timeless waterways, the island of the dolls emerged from its shroud of mystery to beckon the world beyond its secluded embrace. After the enigmatic passing of Julian Santana Barrera, the island's solitary guardian, who whispers of its haunting beauty and chilling legacy, transcended the confines of local lore. This chapter delves into the island's transition into a place of fascination and horror, drawing the gaze of curious travelers and paranormal investigators alike, each drawn by the siren call of the unknown. In the wake of Julian's death, the island underwent a transformation, not of its physical form, but in the eyes of those who beheld it. What was once a personal sanctuary and testament to one man's dedication became a beacon for those seeking the thrill of the paranormal, the allure of the macabre. The dolls, with their vacant stares and weathered forms, became silent hosts to a growing procession of visitors, each eager to experience the palpable atmosphere of mystery that enveloped the island. The tales of whispers in the wind, of unseen presences, and dolls whose eyes seemed to follow one's every move, fueled the fascination with the island. Paranormal investigators, equipped with devices meant to capture evidence of the supernatural, ventured into this haunted realm, seeking to unravel the mysteries that Julian had left behind. They spoke of anomalies, of fluctuations in temperature, and unexplained sounds captured on their recording devices, each piece of evidence a tantalizing hint at the unseen world. that Julian had believed in so fervently. Curious travelers, drawn by the allure of the island's eerie beauty and haunting legacy, arrived in boats, their eyes wide with anticipation. They wandered the paths Julian had once walked, surrounded by the countless stalls. Some visitors left offerings, ties, and trinkets meant to appease the spirits they believed dwelled within the island's embrace. Others left quickly, their initial fascination giving way to an unsettling realization of the island's potent atmosphere of sorrow and longing. The island, in its newfound role as a tourist attraction, became a canvas upon which visitors projected their fears, curiosities, and fascination with the afterlife. Each step taken on its soil, each glance cast towards the hanging dolls, added layers to the island's legend, a narrative that continued to evolve with its telling. The boundary between fact and folklore blurred, as the stories of personal encounters and supernatural experiences woven by visitors became part of the island's ever-expanding mythos. Yet, amidst the influx of the curious and the brave, the island retained its core of mystery and melancholy. The dolls, guardians of Julian's legacy, continued to hang in silent vigil, their presence a reminder of the island's original purpose as a sanctuary for lost souls. The spirit of the young girl Julian had sought to appease, and perhaps Julian's own spirit, seemed to linger in the air, a palpable presence amid the rustling leaves and the gentle lap of water against the shore. Listeners, as we explore the transformation of the island of the dolls into a destination that draws the gaze of the world, we are reminded of the thin veil that separates our reality from the realms beyond our understanding. The island stands as a testament to the human fascination with the unknown, a place where the boundaries of belief and skepticism, fear and fascination, intersect. It beckons to those who seek to peer into the darkness, to touch the fabric of the unseen, and to ponder the mysteries that lie just beyond the reach of the living. Echoes of the unseen. In the embrace of the island of the dolls, where the whispers of the past intertwine with the rustling of leaves, visitors have crossed the threshold into a realm where the ordinary rules of existence seem to bend and warp. This chapter delves into the personal stories of those who have ventured onto the island, each seeking something different, yet finding themselves united by experiences that defy explanation. Through their tales, we explore the profound spiritual and psychological effects of this haunted place on the souls who dare to walk its paths. One such story belongs to Maria, a skeptic drawn to the island by curiosity and a love for the unknown. Her skepticism was challenged when she found herself inexplicably lost among the trees. Despite having followed a straightforward path, the air around her grew heavy, charged with an energy she couldn't understand. It was then that she heard it, a soft giggle, as if carried by the wind, coming from nowhere and everywhere. The laughter of a child, fleeting yet unmistakably real. Maria left the island with more questions than answers, her skepticism tempered by the inexplicable encounter. Then days the tale of Alex, a paranormal enthusiast who sought to capture evidence of the supernatural. Armed with cameras and recording devices, Alex was confident, until the equipment began to malfunction inexplicably, batteries draining within minutes. It was in the silent frustration of darkness that Alex felt a gentle tug on his shirt. Yet when he turned, there was nothing but the silent gaze of the dolls. The experience left Alex with a profound sense of unease, a reminder of the island's power to touch the deepest fears within us. Emma's story adds a layer of emotional depth to the island's effects. She visited seeking closure after a personal loss, drawn to the island's reputation as a place where spirits lingered. Among the dolls, she found a moment of peace, a sense that she was not alone in her grief. The island, with its eerie beauty and palpable sense of sorrow, offered her a connection to the unseen, a bridge between her heart and the one she had lost. Emma left the island changed, her visit a cathartic journey through the landscape of her own soul. The island's impact is not limited to encounters with the unexplained. It extends to the introspective journey it ignites within visitors. The atmosphere of the island, charged with stories of loss, longing, and the thin veil between worlds, prompts a deep reflection on life, death, and the connections that bind us beyond the physical realm. Visitors leave with a heightened sense of their place in the universe, a profound understanding that our understanding of reality is but a fraction of the vast mysteries that exist beyond our perception. Listeners, the island of the dolls stands as a testament to the human experience of the unknown, a place where the unseen makes itself known in whispers, touches, and the silent watchfulness of the dolls. It is a mirror reflecting your deepest fears, hopes, and the endless quest for understanding in a world that remains, at its heart, a mystery. Through the stories of those who have walked its paths, we are reminded of the unseen forces that shape our lives, the spiritual connections that transcend our earthly existence, and a profound impact that a place, imprinted with the essence of the unknown, can have on the human soul. Guardians of the Veil. In the wake of Julian Santana Barrera's mysterious departure from this world, the island of the dolls remained, a silent custodian of the threshold between the seen and the unseen. The mantle of guardianship passed to new hands, those drawn by a blend of reverence, curiosity, and an unspoken duty to preserve the legacy of this haunted sanctuary. This chapter explores the lives of those who have taken up the responsibility of caring for the island, weaving their beliefs, experiences, and dedication into the continuing saga of this enigmatic place. Among the guardians is Lucia, a relative of Julian, who felt a profound connection to both the man and the mission he had left behind. Lucia grew up on tales of the island, its mysteries a constant whisper and a backdrop of her childhood. Stepping into Julian's shoes, she felt a deep sense of purpose, a calling that transcended mere family obligation. Lucia continued the tradition of hanging dolls, not just as a tribute to Julian's memory, but as a gesture of respect towards the spirits believed to inhabit the island. Through her eyes, the island is a place of healing, where the veil between worlds is thin, and the souls of the departed find solace. Then there's Marco, a local who was once a skeptic, drawn to the island out of a mixture of fascination and disbelief. His experiences on the island quickly transformed skepticism into belief. As the unexplained became a regular occurrence, Marco speaks of feeling presences, of hearing whispers in the absence of wind, and of seeing shadows move in a corner of his eye. For him, caring for the island became a journey of understanding, an exploration of the boundary that separates our world from the one that exists. The dolls, in his view, are not just inanimate objects, but vessels for something much larger, symbols of the unseen that demand respect and acknowledgement. Together, and with the help of others who share their commitment, Lucia and Marco maintained the island, ensuring that the legacy of Julian and the spirit of the young girl he sought to appease continue to be honored. They welcome visitors, sharing stories of the island's history, its hauntings, and the significance of each doll that hangs from the trees. Their beliefs in the supernatural have shaped their stewardship of the island, creating a space where the physical and the ethereal intersect openly. The continuation of hanging dolls on the island serves as a physical manifestation of the guardian's respect for the unseen, and a testament to the enduring power of belief. Each new doll represents a story, a life, or a spirit, adding to the tapestry of tales that envelop the island. This tradition, passed down through the guardians, ensures that the island remains a living, breathing entity, a place where the past is always present, and the boundary between the living and the dead is forever blurred. Listeners, as we delve into the stories of the current guardians of the Island of the Dolls, we are reminded of the enduring human fascination with the supernatural, the deep need to connect with something beyond our understanding. The island, with its silent dolls and whispered secrets, continues to be a beacon for those seeking to touch the veil that separates our world from the one that lies just beyond our grasp. Through the dedication of its guardians, the island remains a sanctuary for the spirits that roam its land, a place where the legacy of Julian Santana Barrera lives on, and the dialogue between the living and the dead continues to unfold. veils of meaning. Beneath the canopy of verdant trees, amidst the silent congregation of dolls, the island of the dolls stands as a monument to the complex interplay of culture, history, and the human psyche. This chapter delves into the depths of the legend that shrouds the island, exploring the significance of the dolls and their profound connection to themes of death, mourning, and the supernatural within Mexican culture. It is a narrative that transcends the individual story of Juan's Antenna Barrera, tapping into the universal human experience of confronting the unknown. The tradition of hanging dolls, which began as Julian's personal mission to appease the spirit of a deceased girl, resonates deeply with broader cultural practices surrounding death and mourning in Mexico. This connection is particularly evident in the celebration of Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, a time when the veil between the living and the dead is believed to be at its thinnest. During this festival, families honor their deceased loved ones with ofrendas, or altars, adorned with photos, favorite foods, and marigold flowers. The parallels between this tradition and Julian's act of hanging dolls as offerings to the spirit world are striking, highlighting a cultural inclination to maintain a connection with the dead through symbolic gestures. From a historical perspective, the island of the dolls reflects the human penchant for creating sacred spaces that serve as a bridge to the afterlife. Such practices are not unique to Mexican culture, but can be found across civilizations, where the creation of monuments, rituals, and offerings to the dead form a crucial part of the communal and individual coping mechanisms for dealing with loss. The island, with its eerie beauty and haunting atmosphere, serves as a contemporary manifestation of this age-old human desire to reconcile with mortality, to make sense of the inexplicable through the creation of a tangible, physical space that embodies the liminal threshold between life and death. Psychologically, the island and its dolls tap into the deep-seated human fear of death and the unknown. The dolls, with their decaying forms and vacant stares, serve as potent symbols of the uncanny, the familiar made strange, evoking a sense of unease and fascination. This reaction is rooted in the concept of the uncanny valley, where objects that appear nearly human, but not quite, trigger a deep-seated discomfort. This discomfort is intertwined with a compelling attraction, a desire to look closer, to understand, and perhaps to find a reflection of our own mortality and fears within these inanimate, yet eerily lifelike figures. The island of the dolls, through its connection to themes of death, mourning, and the supernatural, serves as a mirror reflecting the complexities of the human condition. It stands as a testament to the ways in which culture, history, and psychology converge in our attempts to make sense of death, to negotiate the boundaries between the seen and unseen, and to find solace in the creation of rituals and spaces that honor the memory of those who have passed. Listeners, as we ponder the legend of the Island of the Dolls, we are invited to reflect on our own beliefs, fears, and the ways in which we seek to connect with the great beyond. The island, with its silent dolls watching over the waters of Xochimilco, remains a poignant reminder of the eternal human quest to bridge the gap between life and death, the physical and the spiritual, in a never-ending dialogue with the unknown. The legacy endures. As we stand at the edge of understanding, gazing into the veiled waters that surround the island of the dolls, we are compelled to ponder the future of this enigmatic place. This final chapter seeks not only to speculate on what lies ahead for the island, but also to reflect on the indelible mark it has left on the tapestry of human consciousness. It is a narrative woven from the enduring threads of fascination with the macabre, the tragic, and the supernatural, a testament to the island's haunting allure, and its reflection of our deepest fears and curiosities. The future of the island of the dolls is shrouded in the same mist of mystery that clings to its trees and dolls. Yet, it stands as a beacon to those who seek to explore the shadows of the human experience, drawing visitors and seekers from around the globe. Will it remain a solemn sanctuary dedicated to the spirits it was meant to appease? Or will it evolve, its narrative shaped by the hands and hearts of those who continue to be drawn to its enigmatic embrace? The island's legacy, however, is secure, immortalized in the stories, photographs, and memories of those who have ventured onto its shores, a legacy that transcends the physical and ventures into the realm of the ethereal. The island of the dolls serves as a mirror reflecting the human fascination with the spaces that exist at the edge of reality, where the boundaries between life and death, the material and the spiritual, blur into obscurity. This fascination is not merely a byproduct of modern times, but a fundamental aspect of the human condition, a reflection of our innate desire to understand what lies beyond the veil of our existence. The island, with its decaying dolls and whispered secrets, taps into this universal quest for meaning in the face of the inexplicable, offering a tangible connection to the mysteries that lie just beyond our grasp. Reflecting on its legacy, the island of the dolls stands as a testament to the power of narrative, of story, to shape our understanding of the world. It is a story that encompasses themes of loss, longing, and the unbreakable bonds that tie us to the unseen. Through the lens of the island's haunting beauty and somber legacy, we are invited to confront our own fears, to explore the shadows of our psyche, and to acknowledge the enduring human fascination with that which defies explanation. As we close this chapter on the island of the dolls, we are left with a sense of the infinite complexity of the human spirit, of our relentless pursuit of connection with the realms that exist beyond the limits of our senses. The island's legacy is a reminder of the enduring allure of the macabre, the tragic, and the supernatural, a beacon for those who seek to explore the depths of the unknown. It stands as a symbol of the eternal dialogue between the living and the dead, between reality and the supernatural, a dialogue that continues to captivate and haunt us. Listeners, as we part ways with the story of the Island of the Dolls, let us carry with us the reminder of our own place in the vast, mysterious tapestry of existence. The island, with its silent guardians and whispered secrets, remains a testament to the endless human quest for understanding, a quest that leads us into the heart of darkness and back again, forever changed by the journey. The legacy of the Island of the Dolls endures, a spectral lighthouse guiding us through the fog of the unknown, reminding us that the search for meaning in the shadows is a journey we all undertake, a journey that defines the essence of our humanity. As the echoes of our journey to the Island of the Dolls fade into the stillness of the night, we reach the end of this haunting tale. Through the tangled branches and silent watchers, we've traversed the thin veil between this world and the next, exploring the depths of human belief, fear, and fascination with the unknown. The story of the Island of the Dolls, a tapestry woven from threads of sorrow, devotion, and the eerie allure of the unseen, leaves us with lingering whispers in the wind, a reminder of the mysteries that lie just beyond the reach of our understanding. It challenges us to reflect on our own perceptions of the supernatural, on the legends that shape our connection to the world beyond, and on the enduring human quest to make sense of the inexplicable. As we conclude this podcast, let us carry forward the memory of the island, not merely as a place of haunting beauty and spectral dolls, but as a symbol of the human condition. It stands as a testament to the power of story, to our collective fascination with the shadows that dance at the edges of reality, and to our unending desire to reach out into the darkness in search of light, understanding, and connection. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the heart of one of the world's most enigmatic places. The Island of the Dolls, with its silent guardians and whispered secrets, will continue to watch over the waters of Xochimilco, a sentinel at the boundary between the known and the unknown, between life and something that lies beyond. May the stories we've shared inspire you to explore the mysteries of your own world, to look deeper into the shadows, and to find beauty and wonder in the places where light and darkness meet. Until our paths cross again in the realm of the unknown, keep the spirit of curiosity alive, and remember, the world is filled with stories waiting to be discovered, each with the power to remind us of the depth and richness of the human experience. Farewell, listeners, until we venture once more into the shadows together, in search of the stories that haunt the edges of our dreams. Good night, and may your journey through the darkness always lead you back to the light